This map of the North Atlantic visualizes a stark geographical reality. To survive the Second World War, Britain required 60 million tons of maritime imports to flow from North America directly into the United Kingdom. If those shipping lanes are severed, the island starves, and the Allied war effort in the West collapses completely. British Prime Minister Winston Churchill feared this precise scenario above all other threats, later writing that the U-boat peril was the only thing that ever truly frightened him. The architect of that peril was German Admiral Karl Dönitz. He devised a highly coordinated submarine doctrine known as Rudeltaktik, or the wolf pack. Instead of hunting alone, multiple submarines used radio signals to converge on merchant convoys. They would wait for nightfall and attack simultaneously on the surface. During a period German commanders called the First Happy Time, these wolf packs slaughtered merchant shipping with near impunity. Unescorted fleets suffered enormous casualties, leaving the Atlantic littered with burning vessels and vital supplies sinking to the ocean floor. The early years of the Battle of the Atlantic proved a grim reality. Traditional naval escorts were completely inadequate against a coordinated, invisible enemy. The true depth of the crisis is clearest on this map showing the maximum flight radii of Allied aircraft. You can see a massive, uncovered void right in the middle of the ocean, an area known as the Black Pit. Inside this gap, beyond the reach of land-based bombers, U-boats could safely cruise on the surface to recharge their batteries and hunt at their own pace. By 1942, this geographical advantage led to a second happy time. Shipping losses spiked to catastrophic levels right in the center of the Atlantic. The situation grew even darker when the German military introduced a more complex four-rotor Enigma machine, plunging Allied intelligence efforts into complete blindness. Entering 1943, Britain was fighting in an arena where the enemy dictated every engagement, leaving the nation literally weeks away from exhausting its food supply. The Allies survived this crisis not through a single weapon, but by converging three distinct breakthroughs in early 1943. The first breakthrough happened entirely in the information domain, driven by the clandestine code-breaking efforts at Bletchley Park, led by mathematicians like Alan Turing. Turing's team faced the monumental task of cracking the complex keyboard and rotor interface of the German naval Enigma to yield what became known as ultra-intelligence. By deciphering these communications, the British Admiralty could finally track the precise locations of the wolf packs as they coordinated their hunts. This animated diagram shows the immediate tactical result. The Allies could now actively route their merchant convoys in real time to safely bypass the known submarine patrols. Cracking the Enigma proved that achieving information supremacy was the necessary first step to turning the tide of a purely logistical war. The second breakthrough arrived from the sky, with the deployment of very long-range B-24 Liberators. These heavy bombers had the fuel capacity to overlap their patrols across the entire ocean, permanently closing the Black Pit. Constant aerial surveillance stripped the U-boats of their surface mobility. To avoid being spotted, submarine commanders were forced to dive, which rapidly drained their batteries. The third breakthrough gave Allied surface ships a way to hunt those submerged targets, the deployment of centimeter radar. Looking at this radar diagram, the advantage is clear. Older low-frequency waves would wash right over small objects, but centimeter radar utilized a high-frequency tight wave that could detect a target as small as a periscope, even in heavy fog or pitch-black darkness. With ultra-intelligence tracking their movements, Liberators covering the sky, and centimeter radar scanning the surface, the U-boat was stripped of its primary weapon, invisibility. These three technologies converged with lethal efficiency in May 1943, a period the Germans quickly dubbed Black May. Newly formed Allied hunter-killer groups, equipped with advanced sonar and radar, sank 34 German U-boats in a single month. The losses were so severe that Admiral Donitz was forced to withdraw his forces. The U-boat was neutralized as a strategic threat, and the happy times were over. Securing the Atlantic shipping lanes carried massive downstream consequences. It allowed an uninterrupted buildup of American troops, vehicles, and supplies in England. By the time Allied forces landed on the beaches of Normandy in 1944, the physical invasion of Europe was only possible because a quiet logistical war in the Atlantic had already been won by scientists and engineers.